kids, doesn't matter, you're just silly all the time. Hello, everyone.
Just remind me of that song, what's it called?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Unfortunately, we can't play music because every time we put it up, we get kicked off YouTube.
We can sing it.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's hear it.
All right.
Go ahead.
We've had our fair share of karaoke nights.
Yep.
Not my forte, but
No. You're better at dancing than singing. I'm neither good at singing or dancing. So I'm just going to share this to my Facebook page. Hi everybody, Master Ali Ghafour here, CEO of 2020 Armor, and my friend and yes, Master Yvette Yong.
Must be a full moon today.
Yeah, the phrases do come out. I have friends who are ER doctors, and they say on full moons, the ER emergency room is always more packed.
Oh wow,
So
interesting.
there's something about full moons. I don't know if it's a full moon right now, but anyways, Yvette Young, World Ranked #1, Canadian national team member, and also World 3-time world military champion, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll get to her credentials and why that even matters in a second as well. But today's topic is
Power.
You're pretty strong.
I'm alright.
Yeah, you are. You are pretty strong. And we will share how you can also be strong. Alright, let's just kind of set things up here. So today is Saturday, August 8th.
Wow, already. My goodness, I feel like this summer passed so fast.
Really, I was wondering because, you know, you compete and traveled so much before last year, right? Mm-hmm. This year is like nothing.
Nothing.
And so do you find that the time slow down, sped up? I know you're keeping yourself busy with work, but...
Yeah, honestly, I keep myself so busy that I forget that time passes by so fast.
Yeah.
You know, like that means I'm actually enjoying myself then.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it's mid-year. Oh, hello, Mr. Scott Granger. Do I know you? Happy belated birthday to Scott. It was his birthday on Friday. Oh, 35. You look 35, maybe. He didn't actually tell me his age, so we love it, Scott. So we got a lot of things to talk about. As you can see, power is very important, and I will get right into it. First, administrative stuff. We have a flash signal on the website right now, going on right now. So if you go to store.2020armor.com, I will type it in here, store.2020armor.com, and then put in the coupon code of Combine50. You get $50 off, which is essentially like free shipping if you're in North America, which is a pretty sweet deal. So please go ahead and take advantage of that. And why is it called Combine 50? You might ask. What is a combine? You ask. Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we announced last week our combine, which is if you're American, you probably know a little bit more better that term. It's used in NFL and some other sports there. But basically, what the combine is athletes before they get selected to get into pro teams in NFL or something like that, they do a whole bunch of physical exercises like 100-meter dash, bench presses, and so on. And then coaches and scouts look at those things and write those down, their actual attributes. And then that becomes one of the criteria to determine if they can go into the league or not. So we created the 2020 Armor Combine, where the first one is going to be all about reaction time. So whoever has the fastest reaction time, they will get to be ranked. We'll have a ranking for them. They'll be #1, and they'll get a $1,000 scholarship to go towards the training. And I guess I can show it now. I was like, I couldn't show it last time, but
we're so excited.
Yeah, we had to hold it all in. This part you get to hold it.
It is a one-of-a-kind special
championship vest. No, it is pretty sweet. It's made out of all leather, genuine leather. It's got the gold stitching, and it's exclusive to the winner, so you can't just buy this thing. We only give it to the person who's earned it, and it's really high quality stuff. So definitely worth getting and hanging, and it actually works. So it's a fully functional vest, so you could use it to train if you want to as well.
So you know how those like in WWE, they wear
they
wear it around their we should just wear it around our waist right here.
Yeah, well, we're going to give it as a size 3, but maybe we should give it as a size 1, I don't know.
Size 1, you know, I used to wear this when I competed.
Size 1?
Back in the day.
Yeah. So that's that on the comments. I'll put a link now on the comments of how to get there, more information. So that's on 2020armor.com/com.
Such nice quality, guys. Really, really nice.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on that. And so if you, obviously you need a 2020 armor vest to compete. If you don't have one, you can buy one. You can use the code. You can find somebody, a club nearby that has one. And you can the app is free, create a profile, and just submit it that way as well. So it's open to anybody. You just have to have access to the vest. A lot of club owners, what they're doing is they're making a requirement for their students for their belt testing to submit a result. Yeah, people are getting really creative. And so what we're going to do is we're going to see who's the fastest. But what we're going to do is on September 12th. So the deadline for submission is mid-August. The exact date is on the link I just posted, 2020armor.com/combine. But on September 12th, we're going to do a live stream. And what we're going to do is we're going to show the top 8 fastest in the world. And we're going to put them against each other. And me, Yvette, and William, we're going to be the anchors. And talk through the submissions. It's going to be really, really fun. And for those that didn't make it, the top 8, we'll do special call-outs for people that, did something really interesting, did something really cool. We had some notable folks, some former athletes. I know a couple of those guys said they want to put in some submissions. So do that. And then at the bottom of each of your submission, the app, by the way, puts your club logo and website. So it's a great way to get your club name out there. So that's something that's really exciting that again we announced last week. So please take advantage of that. Okay, so that's the combine, that's the flash sale. And yeah, thank you, Scott. Scott mentioned a good tip. Don't wear the vest around your crotch. Not a good idea, generally. Just had to be said. Thank you for clarifying that. So you obviously know who this is, Miss Yvette Yong. We just launched a certified 2020 hour coaching program. So if you go to 2020armor.com/HP, I'm spitting out links. 2020armor.com/HP, which stands for high performance, or if you're not high performance, that's fine too. She has her credentials on there. You've coached 6-year-olds, and then also high performance athletes as well. So you're very comfortable with the full range. But we have a 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month package that she will use it for 20 plus years. I don't know how many exactly. 20 plus years of high performance training, competing, and to do whatever kind of goals you have to achieve them, and then use the 2020 armor vest to measure those specific goals as well. So she will help you with your reaction time, power, stamina, all those things that we've been talking about, and then also tactical. So one of the things you can do, for example, if you're able to spar right now, you could do the in-game reality mode, record yourself in a video. She will analyze that for you. It's a great opportunity to get her thoughts and insights. So you can access that. All right. So today's topic.
Power.
Power. Yeah. It's
So Ali, what is power?
Yeah, let's start with that. It's really important to understand what is power first. So if you had a little drawing here, you might not be able to see, but it's a 100 kilogram weight. It could be any weight, doesn't matter. But strength is how much you can lift. Okay, that's strength. Let's determine the difference between strength, power, and endurance. So strength is how much you can lift up. Power is how much you can take that weight and how quickly you can move it. So the speed. So that's what we really care about, is because you can bench or squat 1,000 pounds, but if you can't move that quickly to a target, it doesn't matter in martial arts. So power is how quickly you can do that, move that weight over a time, and endurance or stamina is how long you can sustain that over a longer period of time. And we went over that in the other videos that we've done. So today we're going to focus on power specifically and how to deliver that, and how we measure it, and then why does it even matter? Right? Like, why? Some people think, especially, okay, if you take away, like, let's say for electronic scoring, a lot of people like to do just enough to get past the threshold to score, and that could work, yes, but there are obviously some downsides to that as well. If you're not training only for electronic systems, if you are a martial artist in general, why does it matter? Oh, one, it hurts, right? Like, if you get kicked by somebody who really hits with a lot of power, you don't want to go in anymore, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
so if I kick Ali, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna, yeah, it will hurt. But honestly, that has a significant impact. Hello, Grandmaster Perez. Always great to see you here, sir. Speaking of power, do not get hit by that gentleman's kick. So if you get hit by somebody that has a lot of power, it hurts. And why does that matter? They will think twice about going in again, and then that will, when they start having self-doubt, that changes their game. Everything starts to degrade and fall apart there. So you hit somebody really hard, especially right off the bat. You set the tone, and then you dictate how the match goes. And that's the best position you want to be in a match, is that they respond to you versus you only respond to them. So hitting with power really helps set that tone. And if you are in electronic scoring or even not electronic scoring, there's a better chance of scoring, right? The sound that it makes, if it's an electronic scoring system, making sure it passes the threshold. So again, very important. And then getting through blocks, right? So if there is an arm in the way and you just happen to kick with more power versus less, there is still that chance of it to go through and hit. Any other reasons you think power is important?
Well, it also gives you so much more confidence.
Yeah, you're right. When you're walking strong.
Yeah, exactly. When I kick somebody and you see that, like, kind of them hurting, it gives you a lot more confidence to go in.
Yeah.
So
So not only does it demoralize them, it really does energize you as well. So you put those two together, those two factors, the tone of the fight's completely different. So power is extremely important, and so we'll be showing you guys some techniques on how to improve your power. Specifically, so Yvette's going to break down the kick into different stages, and then in each of those stages, show you guys, first of all, break down the stages, and then how you can improve each of those stages to get stronger. And so that's what we'll cover today. But yeah, so let's talk about now first, again, what gets measured gets improved, right? So you can do all these things, but if you don't know that you're improving or not improving, then how do you know what part to change? So I want to talk about how we measure power and why why that's significant, because this is obviously a new kind of concept in the world. And yes, Grandmaster Perez. I can't see your comments on this screen. I can see it on my computer. Master Perez says, pain is the best.
No pain, no gain, right?
No pain, no gain. Yes, pain is the best. I guess if you're delivering it. Yes, sir, that's absolutely true. So, Grandmaster Perez, again, 1992 gold medalist, Team USA, Olympian, Barcelona, amazing competitor. His comment was, what he loves about our system is it forces you to focus on power, which again, is important in martial arts. You need to have power.
Yes.
Even if you're not competing, like, it's just, you should have that skill. Like, that's why we go into martial arts.
Yeah. And I feel like these days, because of the system now, we don't really need to work on power.
Yeah. A lot of people think, okay, I just get away with that. But the game will change and can change, and there's nothing wrong with having power. Right? Okay, so there's a game mode here called Hit Me. There's a power game, so it's game number 10. Okay, we'll obviously connect the app to it as well. But I want to break down when you measure power, why you should measure it in certain ways in the vest. So first of all, where you kick on the vest will give you a different reading. The reason for that is the body is not uniform, right? This is definitely more squishy on me than here or here, right? So what surface you kick on will determine the how much energy is transferred, right? All of this won't matter in a sense. I'm telling you what the numbers will show you. But what I'm trying to, the end message is it won't matter as long as you're consistently doing it on the same kicking, I guess, surface in this case. So in this case, I think a bob is the best because it represents the body the closest. Obviously fill it up as high as you can, you know, to make sure that the power doesn't translate it into just motion, because then you won't really see how strong you are. If you have a person holding it, that's the best, but that person will always have to hold it. So if you want to have measurements that are consistent and that person isn't always there, then, you know, be cognizant of that. So with power, you want to make sure that the setup is always consistent. That's key. And yeah, to fill the base, body shape is different. So if you kick on a Wave Master, for example, you'll get slightly different readings because the Wave Master is more uniform, right? It's circular, and whereas this guy is a little bit different. So that's the first thing. But then that's okay. Once you have the setup that's consistent, then once you start kicking, then you'll kind of see what your power is, and we measure power in joules, okay? And so it's just a number, that's all that matters at the end of the day, and you just want to see if that number is higher as you're progressing. Okay, so that's what we want to measure and see if that's over time. Thank you, Grandmaster Perez. Bold statements is our system is going to bring back the sport. We believe so as well.
Yes.
Okay, so so that's how we measure it. That's how it's done. Now Yvette's going to go through the breaking down of the technique when she kicks at all the different components and focus on those and then how we can move on.
Yeah, so when I was thinking about power and trying to improve myself, I thought about breaking down the movements pretty simply, you know, just not from like each toe to each muscle fiber to everything all like that, but just general. So from the ground, you generate the power from the ground, right? So what's the first muscle that you use when you actually kick the bob or kick a person? So the best way to do that was to look at yourself in slow motion. So if you guys have, I'm sure everybody has a slow motion
yeah, almost all phones have
on all phones, right? So what you do is you do a few kicks in slow motion, see the very first movement that you make. So if I do it right now, you guys won't be able to see my first movement, right? So I go like this. It's really hard to catch. It's really hard to catch, even for me. But my first movement is my arms going like this. It goes like this. Then coming from the ground, my calves, generating that power up, then through my quads, then my hips, and the very last thing that I think about is the core. Boom. If you don't have a strong core, your body's just going to keep going like this, right? And there's no power generated from that. So once you know how to control each of these mechanics, so you can kick like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to break down is movement number 1 for your calves. Okay, so I have a few exercises for each, but I'm just going to tell you guys one right now. For the calves, what I do, the very first motion from here is going up. Okay, so what we want to do is just isolate that muscle right now. What I do is hold a weight. You can hold anything. I have a kettlebell here right now with me. So if you have, no, we're limited right now. Okay, so the first thing I do is just isolate that muscle right here, bouncing, going forward. All right, with the weight. Just like that, simple, plain and easy. Don't think about anything else, just that calf muscle taking off. Okay, bouncing, taking off. Ooh, I'm already feeling it. I'm sweating.
It's crazy.
Yeah, simple movement like that will help you. The second one was the quads, okay? So for the quads also, you just want to isolate the quads, right? So Ali, do you want to do this? Okay. So other people can see, if I can explain it. You're holding the weight right here, close to your body, and you're going to be doing a squat and knee driving just up.
Okay, forward, so I guess that's
Yeah.
what we do. Okay, so in fighting stance.
Yeah, in a fighting stance. No, what we do is knee and go.
Just knee, no kick.
Driving up.
Okay.
That's it. Very good. One more time. Down. Right. Just working on those quad muscles.
So
okay.
do you want us to take off as well, so as fast as we can, or just kind of focus on?
Yeah, as fast as you can.
So still try to.
Yeah. Just thinking about that quad muscle right here, where you're taking off with that knee up.
Right, and also be cognizant of where your ankle is and your heel is, because the more you can get it to your butt, then the more fold that you have, and the more you can actually go from here to here. There's more that you can do versus here to here, right? So I think that's another thing to also focus on when you do this. So both your knee and your heel to your bottom. Yeah.
All right. The third mechanic that I wrote down was the hips. And with the hips, what I like to do is put an elastic around me, some tension right here, and just work on simple hip movements. So that hinging back and out again. If you want, you can add a jump to it and come back down again. See that extension in my hips? The same as kicking. Boom. See that straight line just like that? Same thing if you're kicking just like that, right?
Yeah, because that's the last power transfer, right? Is when you dig your hips into the kick. So this motion isolates and replicates that perfectly. Yeah.
Again, one more time. And also you can hold the weight as well. That hip extension. Oh. Just like that. And the very last thing that I like to work on is that contact point. When you're contacting, your body is tensing up, kind of like a V, generating that power together, kind of clapping, right? So just like that. How do we get that core? Well, if you have a medicine ball or a partner that you can do this with, what we do is on the floor, just gonna pass it up.
Can we stand up or sit?
No, listen, that's fine, yeah. From here, you wanna work on that core. They can see me? Perfect.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on. Singapore, 1. Okay.
All right, feet on feet. I'm gonna pass it to you, okay? From here,
And then throw it
down
back.
again.
And is there any specific way you would recommend?
Enough to not kill you, but you generally want to work on that, that ending point where you kick. So it's basically like just up like that. What I suggest is a little bit better is if you have a medicine ball, you throw it against the wall as hard as you can.
Right.
But we don't have that.
Yeah, you want
I
to
want
break
a
that
hole in
into
the wall. Yeah, so basically that's super simple. 4 mechanics. Take off from the ground, your quads, then to your hips, and then to that lockout position, that final lockout position when you kick. Again, this is only one kick. It's a simple kick for roundhouse, the one that we use all the time. Probably about 80% in the fight is roundhouse kicks.
But the same applies to the cut kick, back kick. You can try to isolate those techniques.
Yes, yeah. You can isolate all your techniques, but by looking in slow motion.
Yeah, so start slow mo with that specific kick again, and then break that down again.
Yeah, and again, it's a little different because we're attacking right now. The mechanic's a little bit different as opposed to countering, as opposed to in the clinch, or like.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So those are slightly different muscles as well, and then once you break those down, you can find the different exercises. And if you need help, it's got a coaching program. You can everywhere, so we just launched that. But so our intention here is to first show you, why these things are important, why these things matter, and how they impact the game and your physical training. Then we try to give you some information, and then if you want to dive deeper, then we have some resources for you as well. So do that.
Should we do a session on power? Should we?
Yeah, so I want you to, exactly. So let's show you some numbers for power. I think that's important. So you that kind of broke down the individual techniques, but I'll show you how the numbers actually look, and then on the app and on the vest, so you can have that concept of it. All right. So power, obviously, is the one we want to do. So just click on the power mode. Okay. We'll do the live version, which shows you the numbers. A minute? Or
sure, yeah.
This one, you know what? This one we can go longer because it's not about continuously doing. We can stop and talk and all that kind of stuff, and then you just start. Okay, and then we'll connect to the vest.
roundhouse kick.
You know what? I'm gonna hold it for you as well.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah, she kicks like a machine. So also when you're measuring your roundhouse kick, I would also just, again, just for simplicity of progress, kick the same spot on the vest. So if you want to kick like the center, I think that's the best.
Yeah, so easiest for them to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the power, it's a little bit, because the bob shakes a little bit.
Yeah. Well, when you kick, the ball shakes.
Well,
It's kind of tricky to do both, but let me see. You can do it. Is that clear on the screen?
yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, okay.
Alright, here we go.
Great. 159. Yeah, same. Consistent.
Let's do
14.
more. All right, legs. Couple more seconds.
Yeah.
More.
And you are done. So we're seeing a delay from it's recording on your phone and that's recording on the TV. It's like a 3 or 4 second delay, so it's like weird for us. But anyway, so these are the results you see at the end of the match. So these are the joules here, right? So it tells you your the strongest hit. So she did 214. Bring back. Your phone's really slow. Oh, is this because it ran out of space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 214 was her best hit, and so I'm gonna just bring it back up. Okay, so if you want to go back to our previous session, just go to your profile and then click the session you just did. So.
Yeah, I can see.
You can see it? Okay. So the average power was 146. She did 13 hits. Her best hit was 214 joules. And you can see it kind of vary over time.
And you can show them that you can write down in the notes what kick I did.
Yeah, exactly. So in the notes here, you just put here, right leg, roundhouse. And actually in the future version of the app in the next couple of months, we'll have it so that you can actually just tag. You can select the kick automatically, you don't have to type it in. So then that makes it a lot easier. So that'll be available soon. But anyway, so those are your numbers, and that's what we can use now to analyze. So if you're doing the remote coaching with Yvette, for example, she would look at those numbers for you, or if your own coach, if you have your own coach, or just by yourself. You can plot those numbers over time. We'll have a graph mode as well where you can see that over time, and then see if your power is improving by focusing on those 4 breakdowns that Yvette just did for you. And yeah, it's getting better. So yeah. Was that it for? I think that's all we have.
Yeah. 30-minute session. Can't really put too much in.
Well, yeah, we have exactly. So our next session, we have a couple of sessions on power. So this is the first one. One of the other ones we're going to do. So obviously this one's focused on kicking. We're going to do some weight exercises for power. So that'll be another one we'll go over. Next week's going to be really fun. We're going to focus on power, punching power. But since we're not really punchers, we figured let's bring in someone who can punch. So we got a couple of
some national team women's boxing champions.
Yeah, there's some professionals, they're national team members. They don't know how to punch. So let's ask them how to punch, and we will get some power tips, punching power tips from them.
I'm so excited to see how hard they punch on the 2020 armor.
Yeah, because we punch sometimes to score, sometimes it does score. But when you get a good focused punch right here, it takes the wind out of you, right? Because there's a difference between a kick here, because kick has more surface area, right? But when you have a focused direct impact, it feels way different. And by different, I mean worse. And so you get a good solid punch right here, you cave, right? So if you can do that to your opponent, then again, they will have that hesitation for coming in. Because what they're going to do is, let's say if you switch, if I can touch my hand, yeah. So you boom, right? They're going to think twice about doing, that close stance roundhouse kick. So punching is also another good thing to have in your arsenal. So we'll cover that next week. And that's all.
Maybe we should do a power kick punch off.
Kick should win just because you cut off the leg and weighs quite a lot more than a hand. But these ladies do know how to punch. But I mean, you know how to kick too. So
I know how to kick, but they really know how to punch. So
I guess you got to tune in next week to see who will win, kick or punch. And just to go recap from the beginning, don't forget about the combo, the combine flash sale. If you put in combine 50, go store.2020.com. That will end on Monday, so please go ahead and do that. Check out the combine, 2020.com/combine to participate. It's free to participate. You just need access to a vest. If you don't have one, you can purchase one or just find one nearby you. And then if you like how Yvette is breaking things down and you want her to focus on you, we now have certified coaching that she can do for you one-on-one. And that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the fight. And pass it on. Thank you, Lee, to our sponsors. Not our sponsors, our investors, I mean.
Bye.
Bye.